I'm here with Kurt Fadden with the Fadden McKelvey Group with EXP. Kurt, I appreciate you being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
How long have you been selling real estate?
I've been doing real estate full time for about 5 years now.
What's one thing that you wish you would have known when you got started?
The number one thing that I would say I wish I knew when I got started in real estate is that selling homes, businesses, land, whatever it may be, is actually a mechanics thing. And if you get a good mentor and they can go through the mechanics of how those deals are structured, that is actually not the complicated part of real estate. The complicated part of real estate is learning how to get in front of people. And that's really the sale that you make in this business. It's a relationship business and a self-sale business. You need to be able to sell people, and you being the best person to do it in a pool of lots and lots of other people who do the exact same thing and have similar marketing. So I wish I had focused more on that when I first got into the business, opposed to just understanding the mechanics of a transaction.
How much have you sold in 2024?
So far this year, we've sold just under 8 million as a team, and we're projected to close anywhere from about 13 to 15 million this year.
Nice. What's one piece of advice that you would give to a brand new agent starting off today?
The number one piece of advice I would give, well, it's really two things. One is to try to avoid obscurity. And so you have to find what works for you. But some quick tips that I could give is, every week, 52 weeks in the year, book a lunch and book a coffee with someone. Okay. It's a great way to work your sphere of influence or your SOI without being off-putting and just calling people cold to talk about real estate, which people don't want to do. If you do that, right, that's almost 104 times you get with someone a year. You have to think of things granularly like that. You're bound to get something from that.
Okay.
I would do as many open houses as possible, even if it was a major inconvenience. Okay. I would get used to being inconvenienced. And the third thing is I would get comfortable on the phones. Okay. A lot of people tell you just to work your sphere of influence, which is great. But the truth is, this is a sales business. Like I said before, the sale comes in when you're selling yourself. Yeah. If you're not comfortable on the phones, it's going to take a lot longer to build your business. And so what I always tell people is the heaviest object in sales is your phone, because you can't get people to pick it up. So if you make that phone a lot lighter and pick it up more often, you're going to do a lot more business.
That's awesome, man. Who do you choose for your closings?
Obviously, I use Berg Title, and Berg Title is a great choice for us, and we talk about this all the time, not just because of the professionalism and the team that's on board, but it really is nice to have sound legal services backing something like a real estate transaction. We also do a lot of real estate investing, as you know, so those two things go hand in hand, and we've used Brandon's real estate attorney services many, many times.
Cool. Awesome, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you having me.
Of course. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, I'm here with Andre Kunitsin with Dalton Wade. Thank you, Andre. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me.
How long have you been selling real estate?
I've been selling real estate for about 4 years.
Okay. And how much did you sell last year?
Somewhere around 13, 14 million. Not sure exactly about the figures. Sure on that. Yeah.
So that puts you as one of the leading local producers of real estate. What's one of your best or main pieces of advice for a real estate agent that's just starting off today?
The first thing I would say is don't be lazy.
Okay, sure.
That's kind of, I think, the number one thing I see that people fail. They just are not willing to work enough to get it done and give up too easily. And I guess be prepared to work for free for a while and be willing to do so, because then you'll be rewarded later on. I see agents doing different things all the time, and for everybody, like you mentioned, it works different. I don't think a wrong way to get business is just to kind of find out what works for you.
You didn't start with a big local network of market of people, did you?
No, I mean, I didn't know a lot of people moving from overseas, like from Europe, and I don't really have like a huge circle of friends.
Right.
I mean, I do have now, but like before, I didn't have that many people I know that I can get business.
Let's say you were dropped off in a brand new market, no connections, no nothing else. What would you do?
I would probably start marketing the neighborhood I live in.
Okay.
That's what I would start with, because I think you as a new agent, I think that's your best bet to start getting business in that neighborhood. I would just walk around and give cards to every neighbor, talk to them, give them flyers, and explain them the benefit of hiring you as the neighborhood expert, because you'll know the neighborhood better. That gives you the upper hand when they compare it to other agents, because you'll know the best aspects of the neighborhood. And build that trust and try to always meet with them. If you're like in an HOA community, try to even go to those meetings. I know they're not fun to be at, but at least you'll get to meet people, talk to them, say hello. Maybe wear even your name badge and say like, hey, I'm a real estate agent,
Did you do that? Did you like go door to door?
I did actually. As soon as I started, like I used to live in an HOA neighborhood. It's a townhome complex, and I would be like a mailman. I would wear like this suitcase with a bunch of flyers, and I would stick it at everybody's door. And then if I see someone outside, I would talk to them, be like, "Hey, how's it going?" Then we'd talk about real estate a little bit, and that's kind of how it started for me. That was kind of that was my, I would say, my bread and butter. And then of course I expanded. I learned more things, and I started doing different things to get business. But
Did you have? I would imagine you would have had like reactions super great. You probably had some reactions that weren't great too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I had people I had some people that were kind of upset about it or annoyed, kind of like one of these guys, kind of knocking on the door with, a bottle of spray and trying to sell us something.
Like a door-to-door salesman?
Yeah, but most of the people are pretty, I mean, especially when I tell them, hey, I'm a neighbor. I'm not just, a guy, a strange guy. I'm actually live down the road. And, so that's...
Did you start seeing results with that fairly quickly?
No, it took a while. It took a while until I got the first listing, and of course, as soon as I got the first listing, then I made a big deal about it. I started advertising it, and then and at that point, the market started to getting really hot, and I ended up listing it quite a bit higher than what the last comps were in the neighborhood. So I ended up selling, and that just kind of made it was very exciting, and I made sure that neighbors and people are aware about it.
So I guess that it would kind of build on itself. You say, hey, like once you get the first one and you get that one, at least that listing or sold, then you can start going to your neighbor saying, I just sold the one down the street from you, and it just starts compounding.
Exactly, and of course, with that listing, you can do so many things. Advertise that you sold it to every single neighbor, and then you actually have proof that hey, you did it, you are doing it, and you are so good at it. Like one thing that I feel like new agents feel like, hey, if they ask you how long have you been in business, or how many sales you've had. I mean, if you prepare before you have an appointment, I think that question will never come up. Just because then if you show that, hey, you are passionate, you're excited, you're going to work so hard, and you're going to get it done for them. I pretty much never been asked that question before, even at the beginning when I just started, and I didn't really know as much as I know now. But just because I prepared, I showed excitement, and I was just, they didn't really care, and they didn't really ask. And even if they asked me about my sales or anything, just use your brokerage sales. Just say, hey, we're selling, everywhere, not specifically about you.
Awesome. Who do you use for your closings?
I use the best title company in Bay County, Berg Title.
I appreciate that, buddy. Why do you use Berg Title?
Of course, the main reason is Crystal. Crystal is amazing, and she does great work. She's kind of the last touch of the closing, because that's where the kind of the transaction ends. And she puts that last touch to all my customers that makes a big difference for them. Just kind of long-lasting impression, and she's very nice to work with, and that's what I appreciate the most. And of course, I appreciate being a strong firm as well, and having you on staff as well. And we have some more complicated questions. It's always kind of great to be able like, hey, what's going on here? This is weird, or we don't understand this. So that always makes me feel good. That we can take care of clients in a better way.
Very cool, Andre. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, bud. Hey, I'm here with Sandy Smith with Dalton Wade, and we're going to talk about some real estate stuff. So, Sandy, thank you. How long have you been selling real estate?
So for 3 years.
Okay, and how much did you sell in 2023, and how much do you think you're going to finish out 2024?
So in 2023, I did just a little over 11 million, and this year I should probably do over 16.
As one of the leading local real estate agents, what's some of your best advice for a brand new agent that's starting off today?
For a brand new agent, I would definitely say I grew my business with social media. I'm not from here. I didn't know anybody, so definitely work the people that you know. Then just stay in contact, truthfully, and build relationships. It's about a relationship, having they want to have the trust in you to take care of them, and so it's really just being there for people. Honestly,
so you started without like a robust network. And so what was the type of stuff that you would do on social media?
I would do video tours of homes. I still do them to this day.
Okay.
That's what does the best, because it's actually showing, the product of what you're actually trying to sell.
Okay.
I do community involvement
Sure.
things.
Okay.
So things that I do throughout the community or local businesses. I talk about, where I've been, what they do for the community. I put some personal moments in there. It's again, getting people to know you
Okay.
and trust in you. And really, honestly, they hadn't even met you.
What do you mean?
Like these people who follow me on social
Oh,
media.
okay.
They don't even know me, but they feel like they know me.
Right.
And so then they trust me to take care of them because they don't know anybody else.
Okay.
So for me, that's really how I established my business now before I was a hairstylist. So
Okay.
I had a good following already in 2 different towns back in Georgia. That's not too far.
Yeah.
So then some of them have pulled in as well. They'll also comment on my social media.
Yeah.
So it helps build that rapport with other people that I hadn't even met yet. So I would definitely say work your social media, whichever site, and just stay consistent about it.
Okay.
Consistently just love on the people who interact with you.
Oh, that's awesome. How would you, so it sounds like you're saying authenticity, like you were your authentic self online.
Oh, for
Like how would you do that? I know it sounds simple, but what would you think about when you're
Well,
trying to
I think
accomplish
most
that?
people think, like we were talking about earlier, real estate's come in their suit and ties and da-da-da-da-da,
Right.
Well, I'm not that person. So
Okay.
I am my natural self. Whatever comes up, comes out. I'm going to appeal to some people and I'm not going to appeal to some people, but the people that I do appeal to
Sure.
are my kind of people.
That's awesome.
That's who I want to work with. And it's easy.
Yeah. Who do you
So-
use for your closings?
Always Berg title.
Why is that?
Why is that? Really because of the customer service and the relationship that I built with Crystal, truthfully. She has gone over and beyond always to take care of me and my customers. And so when she partnered with Berg Title, then I came with her. But, it's been nice to grow and, learn more about what all y'all do for the community and just helping others. So it's been a good partnership.
That's awesome. Sandy, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're so welcome.
Cool. Hey, I'm here with Carly Sostheim with Corcoran Reverie. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. How long have you been a real estate agent?
A little over 4.5 years now.
Okay. And how much did you sell in 2023 and how much do you think you're going to sell in 2024?
In 2023, I was about a little over 40 million. Year to date, I'm right at 40 million. So
Where do you think you'll be at the end of the year?
I'm anticipating probably between 45 and 50 million.
So that makes you one of the top real estate agents, certainly in the area, if not the panhandle in the state. What would be your advice for a brand new agent starting off today?
I would say the best advice is work your network.
Okay.
Don't try to go find new clients that you don't have anything in common with or that you don't know, but really hone in on the network and the relationships that you've already built and let them know what you're doing. Let them know that you sell real estate. Be the expert in that field for them.
And I'm just thinking out loud here is like, I don't know that everybody has your network. Do they? Or maybe that's your advice. It's just, you got to work your network, but.
Yeah, I think that people don't realize the network that they have. I think that they forget the soccer games, and I think they forget the hostess at the restaurant that they go to every Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is a connector in some way, some shape, or some form if you know them. And
Okay.
so I think the biggest thing is telling people what you do
Okay.
and making it known that you sell real estate.
Okay.
Social media is an incredible thing these days.
Okay.
Not everybody, is going to be an expert at everything, but you want to hone in on the people that you know and focus your attention on them
Okay.
and working that network versus trying to grow a bigger network, immediately with people that you don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's do that. What would you say to somebody who's got that like apprehension about kind of wanting to make that introduction or say what they're trying to do or kind of get over that hurdle?
I think just focus on being genuine.
Okay.
I'm kind of a character at times. I don't mean to be, but I think things come out funny, and I don't want to be embarrassed of it. It's who I am. I wear Walmart clothes and I drink Diet Coke and coffee all day. I'm dehydrated 100% of the time. Everything can turn into a real estate conversation, but it's not a real estate conversation about do you want to buy or sell today. It's a real estate conversation about knowing that I sell real estate and I want to be that connector for you. And I want to be that person for you. And so I think everybody that is new tries to focus on how can I sell a house to you, or how can I represent you selling a house, or do you want to buy a house today? I work with clients for 2 years that haven't bought a house yet.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And,
Right.
and it happens,
Yeah.
and that's okay. So I think patience, but also realizing that every relationship can turn into a real estate transaction, but focusing on the relationship and fostering that and letting them know what you do is more important than are you going to buy or sell a house today.
Sure, and I've seen you. I mean, you follow up with people, and you're not just trying to sell them a house or buy them a house or whatever. Like, you're trying to drive value. Like, I see you do all the time. Like, one is, what do they need? Why do they need it? How? Like, what can I find for them? I mean, you do a fantastic job of that. Is that just innate to you, or how do you figure that out?
Well, I think some of it is it's been a very changing market since 2020. Whenever COVID hit, and then 2021 was like the wild, wild west, and then 2022 was different. I mean, every year has been different challenges, and I think being able to maneuver yourself to position yourself with different types of real estate. So, not everybody's going to buy a primary home every single year. So maybe they want to invest, and maybe you talk to them about, investing versus investing in real estate versus stocks or something like that. So I think just positioning yourself where if the investment market is great right now, focus on that for your clients. If the primary home market or secondary home market is great, position yourself for your clients that way. But always be on the lookout for something that could fit their needs, because everything eventually for me goes back to real estate.
So going back to that, and this is not a loaded question, do you think it's important that somebody kind of establish a niche, like I'm in town, I'm on the beach, I do condos, I do townhomes or whatever, or do you think, no, you should be as much as you can to as many people as you
can? For a lot of agents that works. For me it doesn't, only because I represent developers. I also represent, full-time residents. I represent second homes. I have been a resource for people that are relocating here. I think for me it doesn't make sense because I do represent all the way from 30A to Panama City, and pretty equally in between. But for a lot of people, I think honing in on the condo market, honing in on the investment market, honing in on the a particular neighborhood and farming that neighborhood. I think that's super ideal for someone new because you can be the expert in that field. For me, it just doesn't work, but I think it does work for a lot of newer agents.
Gotcha. Who do you use for your closings?
Berg Title.
Why is that?
I really feel like the agents at Berg Title craft every single closing to my clients. I have a lot of clients that don't have the ability to be sitting at a computer all day long and uploading a survey they have or a previous title, commitment or whatever it may be. And so I really feel like they work on my client's schedule. So if it's a doctor that needs to be answered at 7:30 at night, they're there to do that. And if it's, an attorney that's in court all day and they can't talk until, before 7 a.m. or after 7 p.m., they're there for that. So really just crafting every single closing to my client, not to the transaction, is really, really important to me.
Cool. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.